Hey guys, what is up? Mike here. Thanks for tuning in to another video. Three things that I want to talk about. Three things that will make you a highly valuable product UI UX designer. Someone that is highly sought after, someone that is highly referred amongst your peers and other co-workers and people that you've worked with, and allow you or make you someone that people want to work with. All right. If you work on these three things, focus on these three areas, you will always find a place in this industry. Three things, three buckets, three collection of skills, three areas that you should focus on. Number one is the ability to get things done and design with a high degree of aesthetics. Okay, a pixel perfect understanding or pixel perfect skill set that allows you to design interfaces with a high degree of visual UI design aesthetics. Okay, that's number one. And just get stuff done, being able to work quickly. All right. Number two is your ability to design with a user-centered approach. Always approaching each and every project, each and every widget, each and every interface that you design with the end user in mind. All right. Applying the don't make me think principle. All right. User-centered approach to your design process. All right. Number three is your ability to communicate and build chemistry across different teams. All right. Those are the three areas. Number one, visual, high degree of visual UI design skills, high degree of aesthetics. Number two is your ability to understand user-centered approach, don't make me think principle. And number three is communication across teams. Let me dive into each and every one, and I'll talk about them. Just go into more context into each one. By the way, if you sort of listen to what I'm saying and kind of just learn this stuff, you can apply this stuff to an interview, and it definitely will give you some brownie points in an interview, and really probably propel you into landing and doing well at that interview and landing a job. But number one is getting things done in a high degree of visual UI design aesthetics. Okay, why do I say that? It's because not every UX designer is created equal. You can be a great UX designer, a great problem solver, a great person that understands the end user, and a great researcher, and you think of things in that approach. But without the ability to design and really get your hands dirty and know how to design with high degree visual UI design aesthetics, you're leaving a lot on the table. There are jobs that will probably pass you up because you don't have that particular skill set. All right, and that's just the outright truth. Sometimes you have to go into a particular situation and they need you for that particular skill. They need you for that visual UI design skill to just start working on the team, jump into a project and carry over and just clean things up and just start designing. All right, you may not have time to work with the client, understand the client pain points and things like that. All right, you just, in certain situations, you just need to get in, get your hands dirty, and be able to get things done. Produce mock-ups, produce screens for a particular project. All right, and move things along. All right, there's a lot of jobs out there that have that situation, and if you do not have that skill set, you can be a great UX designer. If you're leaving that on the table, there's chances are that you can get left out. You can get overlooked if you are in need of work and those are opportunities that are out there and you don't have that particular skill set, it's not being shown on your portfolio, there's a chance that you're being overlooked. All right, so high degree visual UI design aesthetics. All right, and being able to just get your hands dirty, work within Sketch, work within Figma, work within Adobe XD, and just kind of get your hands dirty and start jamming on some high-end visual UI design, pixel perfect stuff. All right, that's number one. Number two is the second part of that. All right, you can come into a situation, you must have an approach that always see things from the end user's point of view. All right, I always like to say I always apply the don't make me think principle. All right, it's one of the best UX design books on the market. I believe it's over 15 plus years old, and To this day, the title alone is a principle. The title alone of that book, Don't Make Me Think, by Steve, I forgot, it's Krug's. Check it out on, if you have not, if you're new to UX design, read that book. It gives you a great foundation of UX design. It's basically, if you apply the Don't Make Me Think principle to every interface, every situation you're in, if you apply the Don't Make Me Think principle, you're doing your end user justice. You're essentially designing, you're designing with the end user in mind, and in my opinion, you'll knock out a lot of low-hanging fruit, okay? And what do I mean by Don't Make Me Think principle? So when you're designing an interface, all right, you could be working with different designers. Now, there are hundreds of ways to design an interface and to solve a problem, all right? For example, you can put a back arrow somewhere and people know that that's going back, okay? But you can put a back arrow and you can put the word contacts. Like, I'm going back to the contacts page, or I'm going back to the admin page, or I'm going back to the settings page. Okay, so there's two ways to design it. You can put the back arrow, right? Now, there's a lot of situations where you're assuming the user knows what that back arrow is going to. Or you can put the back arrow in connection with a label. All right, that's just one out of thousands of different examples how you can design a situation where you're saying, hey, don't make the user think. All right, so if the user have to think too hard about a particular interface or a particular situation on, on an app or something like that, are there better ways to design that particular situation? All right, apply critical thinking. Ask yourself, are there better ways? If not, then you probably have the best one, and that's your best guess. But in many situations, when I'm reviewing a design, I'm always thinking about things. I'm always asking questions. I'm critically thinking through all these problems. And critical thinking is basically just continuously asking questions. So if you do that stuff, another example is having a plus button, by itself. Let's just say there's a plus button, and that plus button creates a new email, right? Like you see on Gmail or whatever, right? But if you have, an action button that says new email, obviously that's dumbing down the situation, allowing the user not to even guess what that action button does. By having a label in there, it doesn't make, it doesn't make the user think. I can go on and on and on and on. I love this principle. I apply it every day. I see it every day when I'm designing and things like that. And if you do that, you're thinking about the end user. You're putting the user first as you're going through. All right, I can go on and on about that, but don't want to, carry on that particular thing. But that's the second one. The third one is something that a lot of people don't talk about, is communication. Your ability to communicate across teams, your ability to build chemistry across teams, work with everyone, from stakeholders to product owners to business analysts to QA professionals, sales team, engineers, which is the most important one because you're working with them daily, and also the end clients, and also your colleagues, your other designers and other UX researchers and folks within your team. Having the wherewithal to actually logically and think through problems and work with other teams is huge. Knowing when somebody is a little bit too, maybe someone's a little bit aggressive, someone has a narcissistic sort of point of view and they're always wanting to get their approach, their way and things like that. Trying to work with designers, knowing how to have empathy for their clients and understanding the client's pain points and things like that, and working with product owners and giving people's, kind of like working with them instead of kind of coming in and trying to get your way. If you can understand that, I always go into situations with that mindset, and a lot of times, people that have worked with me in the past, pretty much 99.9% of them love to work with me again because I have that aura that I put off, right? I have a friendly aura that I put off, but always there to build chemistry, working with people, understanding, that I'm there to listen sometimes, I'm there to learn too. It's not just my point of view, things like that. when you come in there, but you come in there with confidence, you come in there and you're proposing ideas, and you come in there listening and things like that, and you're building chemistry, that right there is golden. All right, those are some soft skills people don't talk about a lot, but those are things that are highly used, I would say 50% of the time when you're in the workplace. All right, not always you're just sitting in a corner designing stuff. That's a portion of your role, but the other side is in meetings, conversating, communicating, working with teams and working with folks across teams, and building that chemistry and getting things done. Those are the three things, in my opinion. If you master those three things, things that can be self-taught, that if you focus on these areas, will make you a rock star UI UX designer. You will always have a place in this industry. People will love you. People will value you, and people will want to work with you, and you'll get highly referred throughout your career. So anyway, those three things that I was thinking about earlier today, I just wanted to touch on those. And if you think about those things, think about the things that I said, rewatch the video, use these things and kind of expand on them in your interviews. Guarantee you, give you some brownie points and probably push you further through that interview process. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave me a comment or visit my site, ML UX Academy. You can always use my contact link there, ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer that for you, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.